Good morning, students. Hope all are fine. Student, let's continue with our subject history. We are on chapter number 9, that is the Maratha War of Independence. Student, I have already taught you about part 1 of Maratha War of Independence, and today we are going to learn about part 2 of this lesson. Student, this lesson has been divided into 3 parts because it is very lengthy chapter. So let us start now with the second part of our lesson. Student, let's see the first topic, that is the administration of Sambhaji Maharaj. Even though Sambhaji Maharaj was busy fighting on various battle fronts, he did not ignore his administrative responsibilities. He continued the prompt justice and revenue system, which was characteristic of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj era. He severely punished the landlords who harassed common people and who rebelled. Student, rebuild means refuse against the Swaraj. He gave administrative powers to Maharani Yasubai. She was a wife of Sambhaji Maharaj. He gave her own stamp. He continued the legacy of Shivaji Maharaj welfare policies. Sambhaji Maharaj knew Sanskrit and many other languages well. He studied many ancient books on polity and wrote their gist in a book called Buddha Bhushanam. Gist means student theme. Now see the explanation of this paragraph. Now we will see the first content of this topic, that is the administration of Sambhaji Maharaj. In this we are going to see how he administered his Maratha empire. As you can see, his administrative tactic is same as his father. Even though student Sambhaji Maharaj, he was a young king, he is very brave and courage like his father, right? Whatever Shivaji Maharaj taught his son, Sambhaji Maharaj also worked like his father. Even though he was busy fighting with many foreign powers, he laid a siege against Siddhi. So his hands were full. He was battling against all his might. He did not give a backfoot to administrative responsibilities. He came for his right and worked for the betterment of his right. As we know, student, Shivaji Maharaj formed the Ashtrapadhan Mandal, right? We have seen in the previous lesson, chapter number 7, right? So, the same practice was continued by Sambhaji Maharaj also, and he was influenced by his father in the administrative purpose. He continued with the same policy, the same Ashtrapadhan Mandal, that is the council of 8 ministers. We have learned this, na? So, student, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj was a great justice giver. He severely punished landlords and those people who harassed the common people who were against Swaraj. So, what did Sambhaji Maharaj do? He punished those landlords. Sambhaji Maharaj student did not fail to learn new languages. He has a knowledge of Sanskrit as well as many other languages. So, how brave, courageous, and able king he was. He composed books like Buddha Bhushanam, right, which include information about virtues of king, virtues of prime ministers, princes, duties of princes, as well as education of king and the material and good required for building the fort. Okay, so all this information has been written in his book Buddha Bhushanam, which was composed by Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj. Understood, student? Okay. Now next we are having is death of Shambhaji Maharaj. Let's see. Aurangzeb was trying very hard to defeat Shambhaji Maharaj. He had placed Murab Khan in charge of the Kolhapur province. Mukarrab Khan learned that Shambhaji Maharaj was at Sangameshwar in Konkan. He raided the place and captured Shambhaji Maharaj. When Shambhaji Maharaj was taken to the emperor, he faced him fearlessly. By the emperor's order, he was brutally means pain and suffering, put to death on 11th March 1689. This Maratha Chhatrapati did not compromise his self-respect and faced his death nobly and bravely. The Maratha took inspiration from his sacrifice and intensified their fight against the Mughals. Now see the explanation, student. Now see, student. Aurangzeb wanted to conquer the Maratha Empire as soon as possible because what he came to know that Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was dead now. I can conquer the Maratha Empire with full force and full might. So what he did? He deployed Mukarrab Khan, who was his loyal, brave warrior, at Kolhapur. He deployed Mukarrab Khan where? At the Kolhapur, in charge of the Kolhapur provinces. Right? So, student, what did Mukarrab Khan do? Now, Chhatrapati Shambhaji Maharaj was at Sangameshwar. Right? There will be a meeting at Sangameshwar with Mukarrab Khan and Shambhaji Maharaj. Mukarrab Khan, student, had raided Sangameshwar. He raided the place and captured Shambhaji Maharaj at Sangameshwar. When student Shambhaji Maharaj was taken to the emperor, he faced him fearlessly, and by the emperor's order, he was put to death on 11th March 1689. See, student, Mukarrab Khan has sent by Aurangzeb, and Aurangzeb has told Mukarrab Khan that he has to capture the Shambhaji Maharaj and he has to bring Shambhaji Maharaj to my emperor. So Mukarrab Khan has captured Shambhaji Maharaj and he was taken to the emperor by Mukarrab Khan. And who has given the order? Yes, Aurangzeb has ordered Mukarrab Khan to bring Shambhaji Maharaj to the emperor. Now, student, when Shambhaji Maharaj was taken to the emperor, he fearlessly faced him. Right? And when he was taken to the emperor, he was brutally means painfully put to death on 11th March 1689. Student, you have to remember this date. When did Shambhaji Maharaj died? On 11th March 1689. By whom? Aurangzeb. Right? सो 1689 को औरंगजेब के ऑर्डर की वजह से संभाजी महाराज was put to death because he was captured. He did not ask for forgiveness. He did not said, okay, please leave me, please leave for my life, I will not coming in your way. No, Shambhaji Maharaj did all this. Shambhaji Maharaj did not pleased against Aurangzeb. He faced his death fearlessly and bravely. The Maratha student this Maratha Sardar Shambhaji Maharaj did not compromise his self-respect. इससे क्या हुआ स्टूडेंट? हमारे जो दूसरे मराठा सरदार थे, they took an inspiration from his sacrifice, from Shambhaji Maharaj's sacrifice. And after Shambhaji Maharaj dead, they fight against Mughals with a great valor, intensified the war against the Mughals with a great valor. So, have you understood how Shambhaji Maharaj was dead, student? Okay. Now, next we are having is Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj. Let's see. Rajaram Maharaj was the second son of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He was born on 24th February 1670 on Raigad. He became Chhatrapati after the death of Shambhaji Maharaj. Now, Aurangzeb thought his dream of winning the Maratha kingdom would be realized. He sent Zulfikar Khan to put Raigad under siege. That time, Rajaram Maharaj and wife Maharani Tarabai and Sambhaji Maharaj wife Maharani Yasubai and his son Shahu were on Raigad. It was risky for all the members of royal family to stay at one place. Maharani Yasubai tackled this unprecedented calamity very bravely. Right? It was decided that the fight to defend Raigad will continue under the leadership of Maharani Yasubai. Maharani Yasubai chose to make Rajaram Maharaj and not her own son the Chhatrapati. Her decision is a shining example of her love for Swaraj and her extreme selflessness. She kept the Maratha Chhatrapati secure without regard her own life or that of her son. Now see student who is Rajaram Maharaj. Now student, after the death of Maratha, after the death of Shambhaji Maharaj, right? Chhatrapati, after the death of Chhatrapati Shambhaji Maharaj, now Aurangzeb wanted to conquer the Maratha Empire. So student, now Chhatrapati Shambhaji Maharaj was dead. So who come next? Yes, now the next is Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj. Student, Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj was the second son of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and he was the brother of Shambhaji Maharaj. Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj, student, was born on 24th February 1670 on Raigad. You have to remember this date. When did he born? He born on 24th February 1670 on Raigad. So student, and he was the brother of Shambhaji Maharaj. Now student, what did Aurangzeb was thinking? Now he thought that Shivaji Maharaj is dead. Now Shambhaji Maharaj is also dead. Now Aurangzeb was thought that his dream of winning the Maratha Empire will be realized. From 25 years student, he was just planning and plotting against Maratha Empire, right, to end the Maratha kingdom. Now, from 25 years he was planning to capture the Maratha kingdom, to end the Maratha kingdom. After the death of student Chhatrapati Shambhaji Maharaj, what did he do now? So, student, he appointed Zulfikar Khan. Whom he appointed? Yes, he appointed Zulfikar Khan to lead a siege on fort of Raigad. मतलब हमला करने के लिए उसने किसको भेजा रायगढ़ फोर्ट पे? जुल्फिकार खान को. Zulfikar Khan was a loyal leader of Aurangzeb. So he sent Zulfikar Khan. Now, who was there in Raigad fort, student, when Aurangzeb sent Zulfikar Khan to siege the Raigad fort? Yes. Now, on Raigad fort, student, Maharani Tarabai, right, Rajaram Maharaj and his wife Maharani Tarabai and Sambhaji Maharaj with his wife Maharani Yasubai and son Shahu. These four people, student, they were on Raigad fort, right? When Zulfikar Khan laid a siege on Raigad fort, these four people, they were in the Raigad fort. Who? Rajaram Maharaj and his wife, Shambhaji Maharaj and his wife and his son Shahu. They were on Raigad fort. Now student, it was very risky for all the members of the royal family to stay at one place, right? These four were on the Raigad fort now. So it was very risky for all the family members to stay at one place, because अगर पकड़े गए तो क्या होगा, चारों जन जो है पकड़े जाएंगे. ये किसने सोचा अभी? Yes, beloved leader Maharani Yesubai. She thought that it was not safe for all four of us to be here in the Raigad fort. So student, Maharani Yesubai, she tackled this situation very bravely. And she said that no, it is not right that all the four members of a royal family to stay at one place. So, what decision she took, student? She said that she will not surrender to Mughals under any condition. What decision she said? Yes, I will not going to surrender the Mughals under any condition. And she took many important political decisions at the fort of Raigad. Whatever political decisions have to taken, she take all the decisions. And student, it was decided that now Rajaram Maharaj should escape from Raigad and leave for a safe place like Jinji. Right? First she thought that it was not safe to be here. Now she said that now Rajaram Maharaj, it was safe. Now Rajaram Maharaj have to leave and shall escape from Raigad and to leave for a safe place like Jinji. Okay. Now student, Maharani Yesubai, she chose between Rajaram Maharaj and between his son. From both of them, she have to choose anyone as a Chhatrapati. So, Maharani Yesubai student, she chose Rajaram Maharaj and not her own son as a Chhatrapati. So, उसने किसको चूज की? राजाराम महाराज को, ना कि अपने बेटे को. So, her decision, student, her decision is there a shining example for the love for Swaraj. Okay, the decision she took, her decision is a shining example of her love for Swaraj. Okay, and her extreme सेल्फलेसनेस. एक सेल्फिशनेस होता है स्टूडेंट, एक सेल्फलेसनेस. तो वो सेल्फिश नहीं थी. ये क्या है? सेल्फलेसनेस मीन्स उनका प्यार जो था मराठा किंगडम के लिए. दैट शी चूज राजाराम महाराज एज अ छत्रपति, नॉट हर ओन सन. एंड शी केप्ट द मराठा छत्रपति सिक्योर without thinking of her own life and of her own son. So, through this incident, student, we came to know her love for Swaraj. What did we come to know? Yes, we come to know her love for Swaraj. So, understood, student, about Rajaram Maharaj? He was the son of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and brother of Sambhaji Maharaj. How did he fight for the Swaraj? His wife Yesubai, how did he fight for the Swaraj? Now next we are having is Rajaram Maharaj leaves for Jinji. Let's see what happened over here. On 5th April 1689, Rajaram Maharaj escaped from the besieged Raigad with a few of his associates. Student, you have to underline this date, 5th April 1689, and you have to remember on 5th April 1689 what happened? Rajaram Maharaj left for Jinji with his associates. He decided to go south to Jinji. The Jinji fort was invincible, means incapable. It was not an easy task for the Mughals to capture this fort. Rajaram Maharaj took his faithful Sardars like Prahlad Neraji, Khando Ballal, Rupaji Bhosle and managed to reach Jinji. Now see student what happened over here when Rajaram Maharaj left for Jinji. Now student, Zulfikar Khan, he was a loyal leader or a brave warrior of Aurangzeb, right? As we have seen now. So, student, Aurangzeb, what he did, he deployed Zulfikar Khan. किसको उसने काम दिया था? जुल्फ़िकार खान को जिंजी जाके हमला करने को, राइट? क्या बोला था उसने जुल्फ़िकार खान को? जिंजी जाके हमला करो. सो टू whom औरंगजेब has given this work? Yes, he deployed Zulfikar Khan to lead a siege on Raigad. But student, before he went to Jinji, what happened? Rajaram Maharaj, he left for Jinji. He left the Jinji fort. जिंजी के लिए वो निकल गए वहाँ से. Rajaram Maharaj, student, used to have few associates with him. Who are they, student? Yes, as we have seen, student, the Marathas, the Shivaji Maharaj, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, they always have the loyal Sardars, associates with him. So, student, Rajaram Maharaj, he also have his loyal, faithful Sardars along with him who help him to leave the Jinji. And they are, student, Prahlad Niraji, Khandev Bhallal, Rupaji Bhosle. So, these are the faithful associates of Rajaram Maharaj. Okay, these are the prominent leader who were along with Rajaram Maharaj, and they all students managed to reach Jinji. So, who these associates, this help Rajaram Maharaj to leave the Jinji safely. Okay, and before the Zulfikar Khan came and laid the siege, these associates helped Rajaram Maharaj to leave for Jinji and save his life. Okay, now next we are having is the movement of the Marathas. Now we are going to see what happened, what was the movement of the Marathas over here. It was difficult to defend the Raigad fort against the might of the Mughals. The Mughals captured Raigad in November 1689. Student, underline this date. When did Mughals capture Raigad? They captured Raigad in November 1689 and arrested Maharani Yasubai and Shahu. While going to Jinji, Rajaram Maharaj had assigned the duty to fight against the Mughals to Ramchandra Pant Amatya, Shankaraji Narayan Sachiv, Santaji Ghorpade and Dhanaji Jadhav. Now see, student, when Rajaram Maharaj, when he went to Jinji, what happened in Raigad, student? So, the Marathas, what happened? The Mughals, they captured Yasubai and Shahu Maharaj while going to Jinji. Right? Rajaram Maharaj, when student, Mughals, they captured the Yasubai and Shahu Maharaj at the Raigad fort. When Rajaram Maharaj knew that, Rajaram Maharaj, what he did, Rajaram Maharaj, he has assigned the responsibility to save the Swaraj, to protect the Swaraj, to whom he has given this responsibility to fight against the Mughals and save the Swaraj to Ramchandra Pant Amatya, Shankaraji Narayan Sachiv, Santaji Ghorpade and Dhanaji Jadhav. You can see on your mobile screen. These four associates of Rajaram Maharaj, they were very loyal associates of Rajaram Maharaj. Rajaram Maharaj always trust him. So, Rajaram Maharaj has given the responsibility to these four associates to fight against the Mughals. When the Mughals arrest the Maharani Yasubai and Shah Maharaj on 1689. So, understood, student? Now let's see the next para. From the Maratha point of view, the situation was critical. Aurangzeb has enticed many Maratha Sardar to his side by giving them weapons and jagirs. Rajaram Maharaj also used the same tactics to thwart means cross place, the Mughals' plan. It was promised that if a Maratha Sardar captured Mughal territory, it will be given to him as a Jagir. Due to this promise, many capable Maratha Sardars came forward. They started invading the Mughal territory with vigor and defeated Mughal general. Santaji and Dhanaji were at the forefront in this action. Now say student. Now student, this is a very important part of the lesson. Now what happened to the Maratha Sardars? Why were the Maratha Sardars were joining hand with the Mughals? Little by little student, Maratha Sardars were joining hands with Aurangzeb. Now why? Because student, Aurangzeb used to bribe them with watans and jagirs, right? Now why Maratha Sardars student little by little they are joining hand with Aurangzeb? Because Aurangzeb used to bribe them watans and jagirs. Aurangzeb had enticed many Maratha Sardars to his side by giving him watans and jagirs. वतन्स और जागीर की लालच देख के औरंगजेब ने क्या किया, बहुत सारे मराठा सरदार्स को अपने साइड में किया. सो स्टूडेंट, Rajaram Maharaj also used the same technique. Rajaram Maharaj he also did the same tactic. He used the same tactic. What did Rajaram Maharaj do? He promised that we Maratha Sardars will capture Mughal territory which was given them as Watan and Jagir. So what did Rajaram Maharaj do? He said that I will also give you the Watans and Jagirs which was given to you by the Aurangzeb. So due to this student, many Maratha capable Sardars came forward. जब पता चला हमको ये जागीर मिल जाएगी, so many Maratha Sardar student क्या हो गया, they came forward. They started invading the Mughal territories with vigor and defeated the Mughal general. अब क्या हो गया, अब सब किसके साइड में आ गए, राजाराम महाराज के साइड में आ गए और मुगल्स के साथ फाइट करना स्टार्ट कर दिए, मुगल टेरिटरी को इन्वेड करना स्टार्ट कर दिए. In this student, the second important name, the two important name was Santaji and Dhanaji. Here who was the two important person who came in front, they are Santaji and Dhanaji. This student, these two people student, they were very curious about battling with the Mughals. They have lots of bravery as well as they use mind. Okay, they use guerrilla tactics. Okay, guerrilla tactics. By using this student, they captured many Mughal territory. What did they do? By using guerrilla technique, they used many Mughal territory. Now see the next paragraph. The Mughal forces were at their wits' end. On one occasion, Santaji Ghorpade and Vithoji Chauhan even cut and carried away the golden pinnacle of the emperor's own tent in a surprise attack. Now see student, these three people, Santaji and Dhanaji, right, these two, they were always in a forefront, okay, to fight with the Mughals. They always use their bravery, they always use the guerrilla tactics to fight with the Mughals. Now they always use surprise attack the Mughals force and started looting the Mughals territory. And they were very knowledgeable. This Santaji and Dhanaji student, they were very knowledgeable. By using this guerrilla technique student and surprise technique, now the Mughals force student, they don't know what to do because they don't know this technique. Mughals student, they don't know this surprise technique and guerrilla technique which was using by Santaji and Dhanaji. So they were in a critical situation. Now what to do? On one occasion student, एक दिन संताजी and Vithoji Chauhan उन्होंने क्या किया स्टूडेंट, देखो what they do, you know, they were so brave and they used to fight so fearlessly against the Mughals. So what did they did one day? Yes, they cut. What did they do? They cut and carried away the golden pinnacle of the emperor's own tent. You can see in the picture over here. One day, what they do? They cut and carried away the golden pinnacle of the emperor's own tent in a surprise attack. In a, in a surprise attack. So what did Santaji, Ghorpade and Mitoji Chauhan they do, student? They cut and carried away the golden pinnacle one day, and surprisingly they attacked the emperor's own tent and bring this golden pinnacle to the emperor's tent. See how brave and intelligent they were. So student, these three people, Santaji, Ghorpade, Vitoji Chauhan and Dhanaji, they were always in forefront. They always helped the Rajaram Maharaj because Rajaram Maharaj always trust him, and they were the loyal and faithful Sardars, faithful leaders of the Rajaram Maharaj, who always help Rajaram Maharaj, and Rajaram Maharaj always trust these three people. Okay, so these were the movements of the Marathas, okay, to fight with the Mughals. These three people, Santaji, Dhanaji and Vitoji, they are always ready, they are always in the forefront to fight with the Marathas. Okay student, so here we came to an end of our part 2 of this chapter. So what did we learn in part 2 student? We have learned about the administration of Sambhaji Maharaj. We have learned about how Sambhaji Maharaj put to death. After this we come to know that how Rajaram Maharaj fight with the Mughals, how Rajaram Maharaj leaves for Jinji, and after he leaves for Jinji, what happened, what was the movement of the Marathas. Okay, these topics we have covered in our part 2. Remaining topics student, we are going to continue in part 3 of this chapter. Okay, so goodbye everyone and have a nice day. Thank you.